Hello everyone, welcome back to your research method journey. Today in this lecture, we are going to look at qualitative data analysis. I have split the lecture into 3 parts. So you will be having 3 videos. Each video would cover each part. In the first part of the lecture, I will talk about some preparations that you could do before you start to analyze your data. And in the second part, we will talk about some guiding principles for you to analyze your qualitative data. And in the third part, I'm going to talk about some more kind of practical techniques that you can use to analyze your qualitative data. All right, let's crack on the first part. Preparations. Okay, so before we do any preparation, I want you to be aware of what kind of data can be used for your data analysis. I know most of you would think about doing interviews. Well, yes, the transcript or interview script or transcript of speeches, those can be the source of data that you can use to analyze, whereas there are other things, okay, such as if you are studying a company, you could get reports from the company and analyze the report. It could be the company's annual report. It could be any policy documents that the company has designed or is using in their company. And we can also try to find data even from social media. Let's say you're studying an IBM company. So you can study their company reports, as well as you can also go to some of the social media platform and try to investigate how people are talking about this company on those social media platform. It could be some accounts which are from the employees from this company or outsiders. And of course, you can look at the website of the company that you want to study. So these listed here on this slide are some primary and kind of, they are, some of them, excuse me, some of them are secondary data. Well, quite many of them are secondary data. Well, for you, the primary data would be the interview transcript or ethnographical note that you, the notes that you have taken from ethnography research. So those are usually the common primary data, whereas the other ones where you get from somewhere else, which are not collected by you, are secondary data. And there are some others as well. So besides the interview transcript, it could be your research diary. Let's say that if you go to the company and you have an investigation of the company, and you may take note or write about your thoughts. You can keep a record of your thoughts about the company or about the people that you want to study. And those can also be a source of data that you can analyze in your research projects. And some researchers would also produce reports in the middle of their project or at different time intervals throughout their project. So those progress reports can also be a source of data that you can use to analyze. So these 2 slides are to remind you that it is not only the primary data, such as interviews that you have conducted, which can be used to be analyzed for your research. There are loads of other things, loads of other possibilities that you should be aware of. And sometimes other text or other sources probably would give you more idea or some new ideas on your research project, especially under the age of new media and social media. You may get a lot of data on how people are thinking about an issue that you want to study on those social media platforms. Okay, so once you get the data, either first-hand or second-hand, either primary data or secondary data, well, if you are getting the first-hand or primary data, you should get it transcribed. You don't have to transcribe all of your data, but I would suggest you to transcribe at least a couple of interviews if you're using interviews as your research method. So at least transcribe a couple of key informants that, the key informants are not defined by others, but defined by yourself, which you find maybe these couple of interviewees have talked about the core message that you want to study. So you can put them as your core informants, and you can transcribe your interview record that you had with them. And then, we will talk about later what you need to do next. And if possible, or if your interviewees or other respondents or informants want to review what they have said in your data collection process, please send the transcriptions to them, or send your record to them if they want to review. So that is to follow the ethical procedures, and also that will help you to increase your validity of your research design. Oh, sorry, the validity of your research project. And so not only the transcript itself, transcript literally means the verb by verb and kind of, transcript. Basically what you do is to try to write down each word that your interviewees have said, not to miss any word, or not to correct any mistake that they make. If they make any mistakes, especially if their first language is not the language that you use in the interviews, they may have grammar mistakes. So don't correct them, just put exactly the word, the expression that they have used. And that is the process of transcribing. So you can use the transcript itself, or you could have a transcript summary or research diary, similar thing, that you can also use these forms of sources to prepare to do your data analysis. Okay, about data management. Very similar suggestions here is that during your interviews, you can try your best to record the interviews. Of course, get informed consent before you record them. You should get permission from your interviewees before you record any interviews. But once it's possible, try to record them, because it is very hard for you to conduct your data collection as well as taking notes. And also some of the kind of nuances or little words that that is used by your interviewees can easily be missed if you're only taking notes. And also, if you do recordings, it also helps you to generate quite useful direct quote, which you can use in your analysis part of your writing, and that can add the power of argument, the argument that you want to make. So rather than you're claiming that your interviewees have said this or that, by including some direct quotes would be more powerful, more convincing for the reader. Okay. And when you are storing your data, make sure that you store your data in a safe place, and make sure that you keep your data in the logical order. And one very important thing is, we know from the ethics lecture that we should keep confidentiality of the informants, right? We should keep their name anonymized. Probably we should give them a code rather than using their names directly. But how do we know which code is representing who? Sometimes as a researcher, we may forget about how we code our research participants. And it is especially the case when there are multiple researchers in the research project. You need to make sure that every researcher in your research project should all understand how you code each participant. So things like a code book, which list out how you code the informants, the interviewees, would be very useful in that sense. But when you store such information, make sure that you keep them in a safe place and do not publicize it. And try your best not to publicize it, and to keep the confidentiality for your informants. And keep a good order. Try to tidy up your files on a regular basis. Okay, I think that's it for the preparations before you would start to analyze your data. And in the next part of the lecture, we will talk about some guiding principles for qualitative data analysis. I will see you in the next video.